Commissar, who, as you may know, is his last year doing this, and it's bittersweet, and we adore him, and we wish him congratulations, and we're gonna keep in close touch and hang out all the time, I hope, in your retirement. And then, of course, Jake Craven and the Hannah Loeffler and the entire MNFF team have just done an unbelievable job of organizing this event. And I, just keep hearing from filmmakers what a unique festival this is. The warm embrace that filmmakers have here is just so powerful, and raves from audience members, and of course the buzz and the movement around town is incredible. So we're just really grateful here at Town Hall Theater to be a partner of MNFF and to have them be a resident company here, and we look forward to year 11 when we'll actually have a new wing and a public plaza and more spaces. So, if you haven't checked that out, there's a video in the lobby and a one-pager, but we can't wait to share that with you, and we're really excited for these closing awards tonight. Love to hand it over to my dear friend, producer, Lloyd Commissar. Thanks.
You betcha. Oh, stuff's already falling down. I can assure you there will be jokes. Can I just say what's on the screen, which is welcome to the 2024 VTeddy Awards at beautiful Town Hall Theater. It is true that this is the last time I'll address you at the VTeddy Awards, but I want to segue immediately for another introduction of our new executive director, Caitlin Boyle. Caitlin, are you in the house? Please stand. By the way, I brought my reading glasses up, which is a major concession to my age, but it may be necessary because the print that we printed out on is probably 8 points. And if there are any baby boomers in the room, and I think there are, 8 points just don't cut it. Right? We really need 14 and up. So if I put these on, don't do any gasping. Next, please. Lisa was kind enough, thank you, Lisa, for your intro remarks and your partnership. This is our home. And I think all of you know that. We took a year off to do our opening night up at Dana Auditorium, but this is our home. And we too are looking forward to what comes next door, when Town Hall Theater will go from being our small theater here in town to a major regional player, and we're happy to maybe be a part of that next year. And I think when you come back and you see what 2025 brings for Town Hall Theater, you're just going to be absolutely delighted. Congratulations to Lisa, to Doug, to everybody on their board. Everybody, it'll be a beautiful sight. And as we did on opening night, I want to sort of put bookends on this by bringing our team up. We're going to start with the great associate producer, Hannah Loeffler. And now our interns start with a rising senior at Middlebury College, Francesca Medeiros. Next, a rising senior at the University of Vermont, Regan O'Brien. A rising senior at Middlebury College, Mariah Thompson. A rising senior at University of Vermont, Veronica Holberg. And finally, a rising junior at Middlebury College, Jose Antonio Hernandez Morales. I said it on opening night and I'll just repeat it. There was no festival without these folks. They just worked their tails off for the last 3 months to give you the experience you've had over the last 5 days. I thank you for everything, people. I loved working with you this time around. And for my last go-around, I have to say, you're a memorable bunch. We laughed, we worked hard, we did some crazy things. I appreciate all of it. Thank you so much. Well, let us begin. We can go to the first slide, I expect, yes? And what I want to say about this year's awards are that many of our awardees have gone, they've gone. So you'll hear us say a few times, we will accept the VTeddy on their behalf. Not everybody stayed for the entire festival. It's a long festival and people have work to do. So don't get bored with us, but we have plenty of folks who are here in person. So we're going to start with the Best Narrative Feature. I think that's what's on the screen. Many of you saw this film yesterday. The winner of the Best Narrative Feature is Los Freakers. I hope you had a chance to meet either Michael Schwartz or Tyler Nilsson while they were here. But in the meantime, we will accept the Teddy on their behalf. The Teddy will be, by the way, for those of you who don't know the origins behind the Teddys, I just want to thank Bill Scholdice IV, the former CEO of Vermont Teddy Bear, with whom I created these lovely trophies. It's our Oscar, all right? And I owe Bill a huge debt of gratitude because they've gone viral all over the world, the Teddies. Some of you will get these tonight. I hope you won't ask us to ship them out. I hope you'll find a way to put them in your suitcases, okay? Anyway, we'll ship this one to Michael and Tyler in Los Angeles. Our next award goes for Best Documentary Feature. Maybe this will be no surprise to you. This film has won, for only the second time in our 10-year history, one particular filmmaker or filmmakers have won 2 awards. This is the first of 2. Best Doc Feature goes to Porcelain War. If we are queued up there to show the video? Yes, I think I see Stefan. Before you run it, these folks, the 2 filmmakers that are, well, the filmmaker Slava Leontiev and his wife Anya were due to come here. They'd gotten their visas, it looked like it was all going to happen. And then both of them came down with horrendous COVID. And so they're really not able to move. But today, Slava stepped out of his house in Denver, where he's been staying, and he made the following video, and I'm pretty sure you're going to detect just how ill he is. But God bless him for doing it. Let's go ahead and run it.
Hello, I am Slava Leontiev, co-director of Porcelain War. I'm so sorry, we have been sick and cannot be today there with you. Thank you to Middlebury New Filmmakers Film Festival for these so important awards. It means the world to all of us who helped create this film. Porcelain War is not only about Ukraine. It's about all people who stand up every day to defend their freedom, their culture, their uniqueness, and their humanity. And that is beautiful things. Thank you so much for these meaningful honors. Thank you.
We will accept the award on Slava's behalf and make sure we send it out to Denver, Colorado. Next, we are going to shift to an in-person award. Hooray. This will be our Best Narrative Short. And the winner of Best Narrative Short is a film called A Good Day Will Come, and the director, Amir Zargara, is here. Come on, Amir. Come on up, Amir. Oh, yes. They travel in twos. Make a couple of remarks, you're free to do that.
Of course.
All right.
Over there?
Right at the stand-up mic, yeah.
Okay. How you guys doing? I just want to say thank you to the festival, to Lloyd, to everyone for having us. It's our first time in Vermont. It won't be the last time. Hope to be back here with the feature version of the film. And I just want to thank everyone who was involved in making the film, including Jolan, our DP, and yeah, I want to dedicate this to Nabil Afghari, who is the inspiration behind the lead character of this, and the people that were on, and yeah, I appreciate it.
Thank you. Thanks for coming. All the way from Ottawa, Canada. Next up will be our Best Documentary Short. And how I wish that the winner could have been here. She's an extremely accomplished filmmaker, and we expect great things from her. The name of the film, the winner is Oasis. And the filmmaker is Justine Martin. We have a video from Justine from Montreal. Here we go.
So, hi everyone, my name is Justine Martin and I'm the director of Oasis. Tonight I want to say a big thank you to the Middlebury New Filmmakers Festival, as well as the jury. I'm really touched and honored by this award. I want to thank all of my team, the twins of the movie, and give this award to the love of documentary. I did this film when I graduated from university, and fun fact, I was the babysitter's twins when I was younger, so we had a really nice time to make this film all together in community, and for me it's important to celebrate the way we make documentary and how we give love to our protagonists. So it's a really honor for me, and I wish I could be here with you tonight, but unfortunately I can't. But it's an honor for me, and thank you to all of you, all of the team. I wish you a beautiful evening and enjoy your time.
Merci beaucoup, Justine. We will accept the award on her behalf and do our best to get it to Montreal, okay? Now, the next award is going to be the Audience Award for a feature film. And we are so pleased to make the award tonight to My Place Ozernov. Karina Betkowska, please come up. Where is Karina? Is she here? She what? She left? Oh my word. Well, okay. Well, we'll find a way to send it to her in Poland, some way, somehow. We'll accept it on her behalf. I didn't realize that. I probably should have. She was delightful at the festival. I know a lot of you got to know her. Her film was lovely, and she added a lot. And I think it's our first Polish filmmaker, so congratulations from afar. Our next award is going to be for the Audience Award for a Short. And I know for a fact this filmmaker is not with us, but I think a lot of you saw this film. The award goes to The Quilters, Jennifer McShane. Jennifer was here earlier in the festival and then returned to her home in Connecticut. So you can see there's a theme, right? We are accepting on her behalf. But for those of you who saw the quilters, you know probably why this won. It's just an exceptionally beautiful film, a subject matter that most of us had never encountered before. A gentleman in prison creating beautiful quilts for foster children in the county where they lived in Missouri. So congratulations, Jen, and we will get this to you in Clinton, Connecticut. And next, if I might, one of our greatest prizes, because it's not just about the money, okay? This is about selecting a filmmaker tonight who will be going to Bali in early June of next year to present her film. So our selection for the ASEF Prize for Cross-Cultural Filmmaking goes to New Wave, directed by Elizabeth I. And Elizabeth, come up to the stage. There we go. Don't waste a moment. Don't waste a moment. Let's bring over VTeddy, and then if you'd like to say a couple of things, Elizabeth, please do.
All right. Oh my goodness. How can people miss this moment? Thank you so much, everybody. I made this film with hundreds of people. So again, like you have been saying, this film would not be possible without all of the support that we've received. Thank you, Middlebury. Thank you, Dre, for hosting. This has been such a beautiful experience. And I made this film because of the lack of opportunity for storytellers like me to talk about, the things that we've gone through. I am a second generation Vietnamese American, and history is told by those that are in power, and there's so few stories about my community that have not been about trauma, tragedy, war, and it's always so one-dimensional. So I hope you get a chance to see it at some point, and thank you so much for this prize.
And now for the next round of awards, Jay Craven.
I have two immediate thoughts. One of which is I didn't realize that in retiring from the festival, Lloyd was going to subject me to an eye test to see what kind of shape I'm in. But he has. Anyway, the other thing is there's so many international filmmakers here and international award winners. Maybe we should also move the United Nations to Middlebury, because everybody seems to get along. All right, well, the Middlebury New Filmmakers Festival Hernandez Bayless Prize for Triumph of the Human Spirit will go to Medea. And we'd like to invite Michelle and Bruce Bayless to this podium to make their announcement.
Michelle's going solo.
Okay.
Due to unforeseen circumstances, it will just be me. I apologize. Of all the movies we reviewed for our prize, this one stood out for the personal bravery of its protagonist, Medea. Hopefully a lot of you saw it, who pushes against cultural norms that would silence her narrative. Instead, she uses her voice and documentary skills to work through her personal trauma of being captured by ISIS and shared among 4 different ISIS men. We only learn of the tragic story of the Yazidi thanks to her heroic attempt to document and work through her own trauma. In an early scene in the movie, we see video clips of happier times in their native Sinjar before the ISIS invasion. When ISIS invaded this region of northern Iraq, they slaughtered men, women, and children and buried them in mass graves. Many of the young men became forcibly conscripted child soldiers, while many of the women were sold into sexual slavery. And I think Lloyd told me that this was something like the 20th genocide of the Yazidi. It's been a string of genocides. Through Medea, we see the struggle of groups like the Yazidi as we watch other heroes like her uncle, the doctor, who if you watch the movie see he died of COVID after rescuing dozens of captives, and Bazad, who works tirelessly to rescue her and later her brother Barzan. There were so many truly moving scenes in Mediha. When Mediha and her brothers visit their destroyed ancestral home and find Barzan's cradle, it is a powerful scene. Even when Barzan is finally rescued, he has trouble adjusting to freedom, as his ISIS family is the only one he remembers because he was an infant. And another stunning situation. Above all, director Hassan Oswald gives voice to the Yazidi, the most voiceless people, through Mediha as we see her fight to identify her captor and bring him to justice, regaining her own voice in the process, representing, in our view, a true triumph of the human spirit. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, this is our 10th year giving out this award, so 10 for 10 of the 10-year anniversary. So we're honored to do that, and I hope you got to see the movie.
I'm reminded, I mean, who saw Medea when it was here? Yeah. And of course, Medea was here, which was extraordinary. And she was asked by somebody in the audience, well, wouldn't you like to get some therapy? And she said, yeah, I think we could all use some therapy. Anyway, it was a good response. And this, of course, happened to her when she was 10 years old. For like 3 or 4 years. She's now 19, but she's making great headway. Let's see. The Middlebury New Filmmakers Festival Clio Visualizing History Prize will go to the film and the director Never Look Away, Lucy Lawless. And Lola Van Wagenen, who is the benefactor of this award, has written a statement. I'm going to share it with you. Clio Visualizing History is very proud to present this year's award to Lucy Lawless for Never Look Away, a compelling documentary about the photojournalist Margaret Moth, who began her career behind the camera after immigrating from New Zealand to the United States. Lawless concentrates on Moth's 20 years of work with CNN, investigating how Moth captured on film war zone footage from conflicts around the world. Interviews with Moth's colleagues show how much she was respected for her work, and Lawless helps us understand how Moth's continual shifting of her lens between belligerents and civilians helped shape the narratives of the conflicts being covered. Lawless carefully integrates Moth's private life into the story, as the best women's history does, and thus raises questions about trauma, courage, and resilience. Lawless asks viewers to consider how humans overcome or not childhood afflictions, battlefield traumas, and life's terrible moments. In this documentary, Moth's singular drawing on her personal life can resonate as deeply as the video footage she shot showing civilians running through Sniper's Alley. This documentary is a stunning achievement, and we are honored to present the Clio Visualizing History Award to Lucy Lawless.
Hi, I'm Lucy Lawless, and I'm delighted that my film Never Look Away has been included at the Middlebury New Filmmakers Festival in Vermont. And you've given us the Clio Award. Thank you very much. I accept this gratefully on behalf of Margaret Moth herself, who did such a lot to bring along other young women in the field of war videography. One of the great difficulties with this film was that in Margaret's darkest hours, like when she was shot, she was maimed very badly by a sniper. Of course, there is no imagery. So while we gathered together as much archive as we could find from CNN, who were very generous in putting up with our inquiries, there were none about her darkest moments. And the other huge difficulty was that Margaret was so opaque to me. She's not like anybody I ever met. It's like I was hearing so many things about her. It was like a satellite of all these very, very contradictory elements to her nature. And I couldn't put them together for the longest time. And that is because I didn't grow up in the same environment she did, which was utterly pitiless. So what underpins all those satellite elements was this core of emotional neglect. So her journey towards loving the world was did a long, slow burn. And in the end, she got there and she loved the world widely and generously. And she became a great force for good. And her message to us is that your potential is not your horizon, that beyond that horizon lies your potential, so go there now. Thanks so much.
The Middlebury New Filmmakers Festival Gaia Prize for Environmental Filmmaking goes to Karen Akins and The Quietest Year. And we will have a statement by the benefactor of the award, Frank van Gansbecke, who is here. Yes.
Good evening to you all. How are we doing? So, I think Annie and I feel very privileged to be part of this new film, or the Middlebury New Filmmakers Festival. And it is our 6th consecutive year that we've been sponsoring the Gaia Prize for exceptional film making, or environmental filmmaking. But before we talk a bit about the award, I would like to do a shout out to the board, to Jay, to the team behind the scenes, but also to Lloyd. Because I think, for the amazing achievement of converting this film festival into what I would call a social asset, right? So we talk a lot about the accumulation of physical capital, we talk about the beauty of natural capital with our surrounding woods and forests, but I think we, don't pay enough attention or pay enough tribute to the creation of this social capital, which this film festival has truly become. I think it's rewarding to see how the film festival has evolved into a community fostering event, I think with a deep soul, and also allowing for people from all walks of life, international, by the way, come here and gather and watch and review movies together, and see new insights, gain international dimensions to certain events, as we can see by the awards tonight. So for that, great thanks. As to the award itself, I think so this is Annie and I think amongst a strong field of contenders, there was Demon Mineral, there was Walking or Running in the Mountains, I do apologize. So we chose For the Quietest Year, and there were 4 reasons why we wanted to recognize the work of director Karen Akins. And the first one is her unique ability to raise awareness to pollution as a underdocumented noise as an underdocumented strand of pollution overall, with the health, psychological and social dangers exposures to noise brings. Secondly, also in the way she uniquely reported of a person with high integrity, Bernie Sanders, is able to fall for the mighty and the dollar by supporting the move of the F-35 fighter jets here to quiet Vermont. Thirdly, it's also in the way she illuminated, the fundamental injustice for parties who infringe with impunity to what I would call the public asset of a right to a quiet life and experience within one's own environment. And this was actually shown by the sad fact of David Shank, who came from Washington and he bought a farm, and because of this noise pollution, I think had to sell his farm and move back to Washington. Very, very sad story. Last but not least, I think it's also bringing local content up to a national and international level. which we hope, the film will actually garner further attention. So with that, without further ado, the reward is going to Paris.
Thank you so much. I am so very honored to get this award, and I'd like to thank the film festival organizers, the prize donor, and the judges. That's very special. I'm so glad you mentioned the reasons for giving this award, because our main intention of making the film was to try to elevate noise to be an environmental pollutant, not just an annoyance. And by getting this award, I think it shows to me that maybe we're doing our job, and people can start to think about noise and its effect on our health and our environment, and hopefully the environmental community will embrace noise and become an advocate for a quieter environment. I'd also like to thank the founders of the film festival for not calling it the Middlebury Young Filmmakers Festival. It's very inclusive, and I bought my first book on directing a documentary when my children were still in diapers, and they're in their 30s now, and that's how long it took me to finally realize my ambition to become a filmmaker. It's been kind of a tough week for postmenopausal women. So I just wanted to shout out to all of the females in this part of our lives after our children have grown, that we do have a higher purpose than taking care of somebody else's children, that we can tell stories with wisdom and empathy and use our life experience. So I hope you'll all get out there and do that. And one more shout out to our highly talented editor that's Austin-based. Her name is Sandra Guadardo, and she just won her first Emmy. I knew she was talented, now everybody else is going to know it too. So I'm very proud of her. And to also the very brave people like Michael Shank, the F-35 sufferers, the people that are actually willing to speak on camera while they are suffering from some kind of issue, and they're very brave, and we cannot make films without them. So thanks to them. Thank you.
Is Mojo still here? No? But I can tell this story. No, I had a real career first experience yesterday. We showed the film Moi-Même, yes? Moi-Même, shot in 1968 and 69, black and white, silent Bolex camera in Paris by Mojo's father, Lee Brewer, who was the founder and director of Mabou Mines Theater. Fabulous little film. I just thought it was delightful. He brought with him the actors who had been in the film in 1968 and 69. One was 12 years old in the film, and there he is, my age. Now he's probably a little younger, but... And then he brings the star of the last sequence, probably 10-year-old girl in Paris, has one main line: "Where's my contract?" The film is fabulous. So I bring them on stage and I talk a little bit to Kevin, who played the guy. And then I talked to Judy, who played the girl, and I said, Judy, so remind us, 1968, you're in a movie, it's a big deal. What was it like? And she said, I can't remember anything about it. But it was a short interview. Anyway, so there's an honorable mention as far as I'm concerned to that film. All right, now we're going to be down to the Middlebury New Filmmakers Festival Shouldice Family Prize for Best Vermont-Made Film. A school teacher making a movie about a school teacher. Petal Fall. Adam Benet. Yes, and we're going to have a comment by Bill and Katie.
Thank you so much. 12 years ago, I got a call from my dad, and he said, I met this crazy guy. And I said, what about him? He said, you gotta meet him. He's got this crazy idea. I said, what's he want to do? He says he wants to bring to Middlebury people from all over the world to show their films. And he's going to involve Jay Craven. I said, Jay Craven is the man. There's no way he's getting Jay Craven to sign up for this. So I called my mom. And I said, Mom, I know Dad's retired, but what's he doing with his time? She says, he's hanging out with Lloyd Kosamar. And I said, oh, Jesus. I said, did you hear what his idea is? And she said, well, not really, but Dad's told me a little bit, but... And she goes, Bill, what would it cost you to go have a cup of coffee with Lloyd? So we met. Dad joined me. Mom said, no way, you boys sort this out. And at the time, I was president and CEO of the Vermont Teddy Bear Company. And Lloyd said, I sat down with Lloyd and I said, what do you want to do? And he said, I want to bring the best films from around the world to Middlebury, Vermont for a week and screen them here and create economic opportunity, create social economic opportunity, create culture, and do it in a time of year when the town and community can handle it in the off season when the college is near. And I said, Lloyd, why do you want to do that? And he said, well, I worked at Disney, and I was fortunate enough to come to Lake Dunmore, Vermont, and really enjoy all that it had to offer. Clean air, safe community, clean water, social interaction, that you can be a newcomer to the community and be accepted on day one. And I said, that sounds like Vermont to me. I'm a 5th generation Vermonter. My dad's 4th. My niece is 6th. And I said, but Lloyd, why? And he said, because it's not right to come to a place like Vermont and take from it without giving back. And I said, wow. So I guess the message is, Vermont has given you all a lot. It's time for you to follow Lloyd's lead and give back to Vermont. My niece and goddaughter, Caitlin Banfield, will introduce the Schulteis Filming Prize for this year's recipient. Caitlin.
I'm not sure if Adam's here, but okay, cool. Hi. Well, let me just first start. The family award there's a lot of involvement in this decision, but ultimately, we selected your film because of many reasons, but, starting with, in my opinion, the iconic Vermont scenery was just gorgeous with the runner at the beginning, with the running scene at the beginning of the film. I loved the music. The storyline was great, the cinematography, and the feeling that we were left with after watching this film, and most importantly, the message that this film sends. Petal Fall is a story about taking a risk. The teacher in this story could have chosen to take an easy way out, but instead she chose to help a child who, with just a little bit, maybe a lot of it, of extra attention and mentoring, this child succeeded. The world really needs more teachers like Miss Loren, and as someone who grew up in the Vermont public school systems, it's really hard not to think about all of the kids that were my peers at the time who needed that little extra attention in the classroom. It's hard not to think, where would they be now if they had a teacher like Miss Loren? So, congratulations, Adam.
I didn't know that we were gonna say things afterwards. But in 2010, I had my first improv comedy show with the Otter Nonsense Players right here. So it can't be worse than that, right? When I was 9 years old, I was diagnosed with obsessive compulsive disorder because I was scratching my wrists so much that my mom had to put bandages on them. When I was 16 years old, I was diagnosed with bipolar II disorder. One of the many, many things that my psychiatrist told me to save my life was go outside and get some fresh air. That's what your brain lives on. Later in life, I realized, thank God I live in a place with a shit ton of trees, but thank God I lived in Vermont for that. When I was a little bit older in my 20s, and I found out that a classmate of mine named Josh Bittner had tragically lost his life in jail. I unfortunately lived in New York City, which has terrible air, and I had a panic attack. Had to find some other way to deal with it. And thanks to the Middlebury Film and Media Culture Department, I was able to make a film about Josh Bittner. I've lost way too many classmates from Fairfax, Vermont, but Josh's is the one that inspired this. 2 weeks ago, my uncle, a lifelong Vermonter, Scotty Jameson, died after a long battle with alcoholism. I so dearly, dearly hope that somewhere he, my uncle Chuck Jameson, who passed away after a mental health struggle when I was younger, and my grandma, Dee Dee Jameson, who is a lifelong educator, taught at UVM for early childhood education, and started a preschool in northern Vermont. I hope very much someday, somehow I will be able to thank them enough, and somewhere they are watching me. Thank you.
Prize we initiated a couple years ago, the Middlebury New Filmmakers Festival, Thaddeus Stevens Prize for Social Engagement, inspired by native Vermonter Thaddeus Stevens' driving force in the United States Congress against slavery, leading abolitionist who played a critical role in getting Lincoln on board and was played by the actor Tommy Lee Jones in Steven Spielberg's movie Lincoln. Grew up in Danville and Peacham, Vermont. This year's award goes for the film Running for the Mountains by Julia Eisenberg and Babette Hogan, who are here, I believe, to receive the award.
First of all, I'd like to thank, or we would like to thank very much the Middlebury Film Festival, New Makers Film Festival. We are so honored and touched and energized by all that you have done for us, and in recognizing that the movie has value, because we've gotten a lot of pushback, and it's kind of scary to have done it. I would also like to, we have two of our protagonists here, and one who was also one of our filmmakers, Paul Brown and Mike Mannypenny, are here with us. We found it was very important to bring our West Virginia folks here so that they could enjoy the excitement of this moment. We'd also like to thank very much our editor, Patsy Northcutt, who is not here but would have partied hard with us too. And
also Jesse Johnson, who went home today, who's one of our main protagonists and a real fighter also. So thanks so much for recognizing this, and also for helping us appreciate and shout out West Virginia. That is so maligned in so many ways, from the inside and the out, because it's a beautiful place with beautiful people. So thank you.
one more thing. This award is going to be traveling with the community screenings that will be occurring throughout West Virginia. So it'll be there pronounced, and Jesse Johnson will be holding it in his home. And Jesse is suffering from 4th stage cancer right now. So we just really am grateful that he had the opportunity to be here. And thank you so much.
Yes, Running for the Mountains documents the decades-long struggle in West Virginia, environmental struggle involving the coal industry, mountaintop removal, and clean water especially. And in fact, Jesse Johnson, who was here yesterday, quite an imposing guy with a good sense of humor, holds the Guinness Book of World Records for consecutive times running against Joe Manchin in West Virginia. All right, so here we go. Middlebury New Filmmakers Festival, Ralph Steiner Prize for Poetic Cinema. And the winner is Rachel Seed for A Photographic Memory. Please come up.
Hello, everybody. I want to thank the festival, the MNFF Film Festival, Lloyd for being such an incredible host of the festival, and all the amazing interns and volunteers that made this all possible. Also, I got lucky to fall in with the most kind, loving, talented cohort of filmmakers right away, and despite not knowing anyone when I arrived, I felt embraced by that and made the whole weekend really special. So this film took me more than a decade to make, and it was really hard emotional labor to make it. And so the fact that audiences are connecting emotionally with it is extremely meaningful to me. So I'm going to dedicate this to my mother, who the film is about, and just want to thank you all so much.
Let us continue with the Kate Hurst Prize for Human Connectivity, and I know that Kate would like to come up and make a statement. Kate Hurst.
Yeah, good evening. So the Kate Hurst Prize is awarded to a feature or short that illuminates human connectivity. In our increasingly interdependent world, this award recognizes the relevance of relationships between individuals, local communities, and global entities. But this year, we also have to include bonds between humans and animals that share our fragile planet. So this year's award goes to By My Side by Vicky Topaz and the late Wynn Padula. So she can come up to the stage. By My Side is an extraordinary short documentary about veterans and their service dogs, and reveals the daily struggles of living with post-traumatic stress from military service. We see vets and their families as they face challenges after military service. With the help of these remarkable dogs, they are able to cope with their daily lives. As Mary Cortani, a U.S. Army vet herself and trainer for vets with their service dogs, says, "You have a gift at the end of your leash." So I don't know how many of you have dogs in the audience, but this film really touched a chord with me. That dogs are, and it's something that's highlighted in Vicky Topaz's movie, that there's this really special empathetic connection between humans and dogs. I especially loved how Cortani explained the definition of hope: hang in there, pain ends. So congratulations to Vicky Topaz and her partner for creating this moving documentary revealing the human power connection between humans and canines.
It's such an honor to receive this award from Kate and for the recognition. I know that the veterans and their families, and the dogs too, are so appreciative of this, appreciating the recognition, that they're getting as veterans, and it's been a real thrill working with them for 5 years and making this film. My filmmaker partner, Wynn Padula, passed away during the time that we were working. And I like to think that he is looking down on us now, because he would be so happy, to see me here and for this award. And I really want to thank the festival, Kate, Lloyd, all of your team, because it's been such a delight to work with you, just all of the details in place and feeling so welcome, and just also the amazing other films that have been shown here. So thank you very much, and good evening.
We're going to move now to the Gamble Payson Prize for Best International Feature Film. And we could go ahead and advance to the winner. We talked about this before, Porcelain War. And I think, yes. And we're just going to invite Joan Gamble and Chip Payson to the stage to talk about their selection of Porcelain War.
Thank you, Lloyd. I'm Chip Payson. My wife, Joan Gamble, and I had a very hard decision in making this prize because, as you've seen, there's many international films. The group had consolidated to 7 films for us to review. As we walked through them, Porcelain War certainly stood out immediately because of the nature of how they presented it, which was you come into a bucolic scene where you see flora and fauna, and they're very engaged, and it looks so peaceful as they walk through the meadows and then into the forest. And then you learn that the filmmakers are also the ones who shot it, so you gain a really deep perspective of their capacity to create art.
It was really a masterfully made documentary. It almost seemed like a narrative because the story arc was so well done, and there wasn't a scene that was extra in any way. It was beautifully edited, and it really shows the spirit of just regular people fighting back against the tyranny of Russia, the Ukrainians fighting back both with their art and creativity, and also taking arms, training other civilians, being in battle, and the battle scenes were so intense. I mean, you just felt like you were literally in battle, and then it transitions to just lovely people sharing love, sharing art, decorating beautifully a drone to go and drop bombs on the Russians, but it was quite an amazing film.
So we're thrilled to present the prize to Porcelain War. As you saw, Anya and Slava wanted to be here, but obviously couldn't attend due to their sickness. So we're only wishing them the best in their future and success with continuing to create their art and push that out, and also to their battles with their aggressor.
We're going to now move on to the Swift House Prize for Best Depiction of the Arts. This is a beautiful prize created a couple of years ago by Serena Kim and Matthew Robinson. We're not going to reveal the winner for a second because Matthew and Serena, I think, are going to come to the stage and present their thoughts about the winner, and then we will bring the winner up.
When Serena and I created the Swift House Prize for Best Depiction of the Arts, little did we imagine that the art form depicted would involve a mime. But not just any mime, an absolute genius of movement named Robert Shields. In Robert Shields' My Life as a Robot, Mark Bond and Christine Siebert Bond not only got this mime to talk, but with skillful combination of archival footage and contemporary interviews, tell the story of Robert's rise from a street performer in San Francisco to hosting a national television on CBS, a variety show in the 70s, you may recall, Shields and Yarnell, with his wife, Lorene Yarnell, to stints in Las Vegas, where he was Entertainer of the Year not once but twice. And then, as often follows great success, there was a bit of a fall. And then we catch up with him much later on, as he's living his life as he is now, as a painter and a sculptor in Sedona, Arizona. This film is both entertaining and incredibly poignant, and it really is a triumph of storytelling. And apparently we're not the only people who feel that way. It's been at a few film festivals before, and it's picked up a clutch of audience awards, which I think is a really good barometer of just how delightful and pleasant this film is. But what really stayed with us is how the filmmakers managed to bring their depiction of Robert's story into contemporary relevance, as they drew this through line from Robert's mechanical man to the dancing of Michael Jackson to the poppin' and lockin' of breakdancing in the 80s and 90s, right the way through to the Olympics and the breaking competitions that happened just last month in Paris. It's really a remarkable, delightful, engaging film. I hope you all get a chance to see it. And much congratulations to Mark and Christine. An amazing achievement. And everyone, this is Dude. Yes.
Thank you. Sorry, taking a little bit. Oh my God. Oh my God. I'm gonna have you hold this. Wow. Wow. That. I'm gonna be honest, when we entered, we saw the trophy and we thought,
oh my God, if we win one of those, that would be just so amazing. And yeah, meet your brother. Oh my goodness. He's like, okay. This has been such a wonderful festival. You folks, oh my God. I mean, this has just been amazing. From the get-go, Lloyd, just, you know, that phone call you gave me on Sunday morning, it was just like, what, we won this? It's like, we're just excited to come. So, and Bill and Donna, thank you. We have cousins here, so it's so much fun. But I feel like a mime. I wish I could mime it better, but I'm out of words. Do you have some? Great. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Everybody in this festival is wonderful. The audiences are wonderful. Thank you, thank you. Thank you. How to get that? This way? Okay, thank you. All right, here we go. Go, go, go. Dude is also listed as transportation secretary.
The last of our awards before we go to our honorees is the Janine Basinger Prize for Best Student Film. And before we reveal the winner, well, I'm going to have the two gentlemen who underwrite this beautiful prize come to the stage, Neil Salowitz and Steve Goldschmidt.
Thank you, I'm Steve. And see, I turned my phone off, Lloyd, as you had instructed, countless times. So, no, you didn't do it.
I didn't do it.
We created the Janine Basinger Prize last year to honor someone who we met 50 some odd years ago, and who is, if you think about it for a minute, planted the seed that I think helped create this event many, many years ago. That was at Wesleyan University. And before I just read my little bio of Janine, I just wanted to give a personal shout out, and on behalf of, there's a lot of Wesleyan here, if you haven't realized it. We're classmates, schoolmates, film lovers, and so if my Wesleyan schoolmates would join me and tell Lloyd how proud we are to have been involved here, and I look forward to it. So Wesleyan. All right, Janine Basinger. Janine was raised in South Dakota, but in 1970 she and then student Lawrence Mark, who's made his mark in film, established a student-run film series that eventually became the country's longest-lasting such series. And that's where many of us, Lloyd, Neil, me, lots of others in the crowd and others, began our love affair with film. She was a pioneer of taking Hollywood film seriously as a subject of academic study, teaching the work of Clint Eastwood as early as 1971. Because of Janine's work, Wesleyan increasingly became known as a place for Hollywood figures to deposit their archives. Those include Elia Kazan, Frank Capra, and of course, eventually, Clint Eastwood. Under her leadership, by 1990, film had become a standalone program and a major at Wesleyan, separate from the art department, cross-listing courses with the art department and other established departments. It evolved into a formal department in 2000 with its own faculty and with Janine as chair, a role she relinquished in 2016 and she retired in 2020, by which time the department had evolved into the College of Film and Moving Image. She's a trustee emeritus of the American Film Institute, a member of the steering committee for the National Center of Film and Video Preservation, and one of the board of advisors of the Association for Independent Video and Filmmakers. On February 11th of 2005, she was named to the board of directors of the National Board of Review of Motion Pictures. She's an advisor to Martin Scorsese's Film Foundation, and she has written countless books. She's been described as one of the most important film scholars alive, and she's credited with having built Wesleyan into one of the top film schools in the world. And there are a number of filmmakers, too numerous to mention, and people involved in film who have come out of her studies and out of her classes, including many who have appeared here, including this year. So that's a little bit about Janine. A little word about our winner tonight. Thomas Bain is a Los Angeles-based director and producer. He attended and got his MFA from the from the American Film Institute, where he produced a number of shorts, and this one was one of 10, I believe, 9 or 10? 9 that were finalists that were all reviewed by Janine, who selected the winner.
As Steve said, we've known Janine for basically 50 years. And with all of the things that she has done, as you just heard, she is still at heart that screen-struck kid from South Dakota. So when we contacted her about 2 years ago and said we wanted to do this, she was delighted, not because of her name being associated with it, but because it would support student filmmaking, which is still so important to her. I have some remarks that she sent to us about this film, Washed Up, which has won the Janine Basinger Prize. Washed Up is a textbook example of excellent short filmmaking. The basic story is appropriate for the form, having a well-established setup, an involving event, 2 delineated characters, action across time and space, a judicious use of dialogue, conflict, danger, and an emotional resolution with a little twist to it. All this in 12 minutes. Although the story is complete and can be clearly understood, the film tells the viewer a longer, bigger story. We can understand who these 2 men are, who they have been, and why they are now both involved in this dubious venture. And if you saw it, you might remember that this was a heist at a car wash. A full-length movie is implied. Cinema is taken seriously. This is a movie story. The tools of filmmaking are used to give us subtle information, as in the cut to a close-up of one man's cell phone, which has a picture of his pregnant partner. There is a high quality of editing, use of space, dramatic lighting, and really beautiful cinematography. Please join us in congratulating Thomas Bain on winning the 2024 Janine Basinger Prize for Best Student Film.
Hi, just want to start off by saying thank you to Middlebury New Filmmakers Festival. I hope MNFF is the colloquial shortening, maybe, I don't know. Yeah, this film was a lot of work, and I just want to start off by thanking my crew and my team, who are all lovely, very, very talented people, some of which went to Middlebury. Something you may not know is the gaffer, one of my best friends, Matt Klepner, went to Wesleyan. So that's a fun little connection. More than anything, it's such an honor to receive this award. Film scholarship, Janine Basinger in particular, is such a legitimization of the medium of film, both as art and as popular culture, and it is really, really important. As someone who grew up pretty poor, single mom, teacher, child of addicts, as someone who still can only sleep in cold rooms because we couldn't afford heat. This film was really important to me, and more than that, movies are important to me. Class doesn't exist in a movie theater. It's a thing we don't talk about in America, but is constantly present. It is this never-ending segregation that we pretend isn't real. And for me, the movie theater was the one place where it fell apart. And you could be next to anyone and everyone and be in this communal experience. And so that's the legacy I try to honor and carry with me every day. And I just want to thank every single person in this theater and around for honoring us with this. So thank you.
Some of what our filmmakers have said tonight, deeply moving. Thank you. We're going to go to the honoree portion. Jay's going to come back to the mic right now.
We'll start the breakfast service in 25 minutes. Honorees are always a special treat and sometimes a challenge when we bring them to Middlebury. This year we had the great good fortune of attracting two-time Academy Award winner. Didn't John win 2 Academy Awards? Or he's nominated and won?
Won and was nominated.
Nominated and won Academy Awards in writing and directing of Moonstruck and Doubt. John Patrick Shanley, who was a wonderful and circulating and accessible guest over the last several days. Also, Academy Award nominee and Tony winner in the area of costume design, Paul Tazwell, whose credits include costume design for the Broadway show Hamilton, also for the films Harriet and West Side Story, and the upcoming Thanksgiving release of Wicked. It was great to have him here and taking us behind the scenes of the production of West Side Story and some of his other projects. And then, of course, we also had the illuminating, provocative, and even challenging 4-time Academy Award-winning director, Oliver Stone. And we really appreciate all of those honorees coming here. We had one additional honoree who we had hoped to be here, Indigenous actor Gary Farmer, who became ill and was not able to attend. But we love our honorees, and this year there's also an ancillary recognition to the fabulous hostess and waiters at the Swift House restaurant for responding to Oliver's unexpected and urgent request for coffee, which proved to be startling to all and disruptive certainly to them. And Matthew and Serena have left, but we have 2 $20 bills to hand out to the wait staff for their assistance with that. So thank you very much to everybody that made it possible.
If we could bring up the honorees, starting with Oliver, I think that'd be helpful. There we go. Also, of course, and in the order that Jay just mentioned, let's go now to John Patrick Shanley, who we all enjoyed very much, and Paul Tazwell. We have 2 in-person teddies to give out tonight for honorees who are here with us. And the first one is going to go to Bess O'Brien for excellence and impact in documentary filmmaking. Bess.
Said to my sister, I said, you know, these awards go on forever. She said, well, have you ever been to the Tonys or the Oscars? This has got another hour to go. So we're almost done. I'm not going to say much. I just want to say how proud I am of this festival. As a filmmaker who's been out there for 30 years, I've been to a lot of festivals. These 2 guys, my wonderful husband, Jay Craven, and Lloyd, have done an incredible freaking job. And I'm just so proud to have gotten this award. Thank you all, and onward and upward. Thank you.
Thank you. Good. We're going to wrap up the VTeddy Awards by having an award going to Andy Mitchell for sustained boldest in documentary filmmaking. Andy.
Thank you, Lloyd, Jay, Anna, everyone. We know how much work this thing takes to put on, and congratulations. Thank you. I'd love to give a shout out to Town Hall Theater. The executive director also happens to be my wife, Lisa Mitchell. The unsung heroes like Stefan, the guy making it all happen up in the booth. To Zach and Aaron, Crystal, Doug. All the volunteers, a lot of work goes into this, and this is really the best little theater in the country, so thank you for that. I'd love to thank Middlebury, the town of Middlebury. This is just such a great place to live. I'm so honored to call it home, and I can't wait to see what's next, and I'm honored to be an honoree. But going last, I really want to focus on this guy. Thank you, Lloyd, for bringing this to Middlebury. I think this is the best one yet. It's been an amazing group of films. Congratulations. Let's give Lloyd one last. Way to go out on top. Leave him wanting more, and then you go.
The great Liz Robinson, everybody.
Hi, everyone. Where'd it go? I had the same problem. Hi, everyone. I'm Liz Robinson. I'm on the MNFF board. It's been a great week, and it's been an equally great evening. And we just want to take a few minutes more to honor Lloyd. The film festival is here to stay, and we have Lloyd to thank. In the last few months, we have heard a lot of great things about Lloyd. Most recently, he's a crazy guy. He's a tough act to follow. He's a maniac, but a good one. He's an octopus. He has invaluable industry expertise. He's an Energizer bunny. He has boundless, unwavering, unfaltering energy. His devotion to meeting the needs of new filmmakers is extraordinary. He's a valuable mentor. He has irrepressible enthusiasm. He is a beloved community member. He's dedicated, creative, and he brings joy to everything he touches. It hasn't been easy. It's been a crazy, bumpy, challenging 10 plus years, but he has persevered. We will be forever grateful and indebted to Lloyd for having the vision and the commitment to begin this little festival here in our town, and for having the wisdom to bring Jay in as his creative partner. Hannah, can you bring something out? We are very glad you and Maureen are not going far. On behalf of the Board of Directors, the Addison County community, and all the many, many filmmakers who have benefited from the festival over the years, we would like to announce the first annual Commissar Teddy Prize for commitment to culture and community. And of course, this year, its first year, it goes to you.
I've said enough tonight, so I gratefully accept this award on behalf of all of you. And if you'll just stick around for a few minutes, we're going to have our closing night film, A New Kind of Wilderness. We'll start right around maybe 5 after 8. I know we've run late, but it has been extraordinarily moving closing ceremony, and it's been my pleasure over these last 10 years, and I haven't really given myself much time to think about this because we worked so hard to get this one over the finish line. And now that it is over the finish line, I just want to say that being here in Middlebury, since we first moved here in 2010 and started to stay longer and longer, it's a beautiful place. It's a serene place. It's a place where inspiration comes naturally if you just spend a little time looking for it. And this festival, for me, coming out of 25 years working at a gigantic corporation, this was a great next chapter. And I think we made a little history in writing this particular chapter. I have no idea what I will do next. I will be on my board. I will still come to my sponsors and my donors, but I want to make sure that Caitlin Boyle has a marvelous run for the next 10 years, and I'll do everything that I can, and all of you should too, in creating the kind of glide path that will make success for her and for Middlebury New Filmmakers Festival in the next decade. So thank you very much for this, Liz. I truly appreciate it. I look forward to see who wins this prize next year. Thank you all. For my money, next year's prize should go to my great partner, Jay Craven. And so on this very hopeful note, thank you all for coming tonight. And if you'd like to stay with us, we will have a film for you in about 10 or 15 minutes. The bar appears to be closed, but if you want to stretch or get some air, please do. Again, thank you for coming for the entire festival.